Welcome to this video. Today we're going to be working on a very simple yet very effective twisting sequence. So it's very nice to start out your twisting practice with these simple poses, and then you can apply those to more complex and advanced twists. Twisting is a very great way to cleanse the system, to detoxify, to really ring the muscles around the spine, and great to do around the holidays when we're eating a lot more than usual and maybe needing to detoxify the system. And eventually you start twisting from a very physical level and you move towards an organic practice, and then you can move beyond that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We are going to have fun with twists. Okay. So for today's twist, we're going to be using a chair, and I'm going to be sitting on the chair so that I can have access to holding on to the backrest of the chair and performing my twist. So if you don't have a chair with a backrest, it's okay to sit on a chair and to use the wall. So we can just simply twist, right? Or we can start refining the movement and using the simple version of the twist to learn the basic actions and basic mistakes that we usually can make while twisting, so that you can start training the muscles and that movement into the body. And then when you progress to more difficult twists, you have that memory there. I'm going to use a block, and I'm going to place that block right in between the legs so that when I twist, I don't twist with the legs. I want to start twisting from my pelvic floor. So I can twist using just the top part of my shoulder, or I can really start twisting at the base of the spine without yanking the spine at all. So to start twisting, I sit here facing forward without any twist in the spine, and I take a few deep breaths. And what I'm looking for in these deep breaths is that quality of the breath that will soften any tension in the eyes, the ears, and the throat. And this will be a theme that you can come back to throughout your twisting practice. So always keeping eyes, ears, throat, and stomach soft. So take a few breaths. So inhale. Whenever you inhale, you lift the chest. So we don't lift the shoulders, but it's almost an inner lift of the chest, almost as if you had this weightless feeling in the lungs that just suspends the chest up and lifts the chest. So lifts the chest from here. It's a lift without any tension in the eyes, ears, and throat. So we'll practice that together. So inhale, soften any tension here in the back or in the belly, lift the chest, hold the lift, and release any tension in the eyes, ears, or throat. So even as you exhale and you keep the chest lifted. So just practicing that starts releasing stress, relieving different tensions, and really getting into a mode where you are working on this twist, not from a place of twerking the twist or really yanking a twist, but really releasing and allowing the body to just twist. Okay, so one more of those breaths. Inhale, lift the chest, release the eyes, the ears, and the throat. As you exhale, keep the chest lifted. So as you twist here, we're going to inhale, lift the chest, and as you exhale, you'll twist. So inhale, lift the chest, twist, and go ahead and grab the side of the chair here, and exhale, lifting the chest, still exhale and twist. So instead of using the arm strength to twist the body even more, what we'll do is we'll start noticing a few things that happen here. So as I lift the chest and exhale, I come to this twisted position and I notice what is happening, first of all, with the left side of my buttocks. So am I tightening the left side of the glutes here? Is there an extra tightness there? If there is, release that tightness. So our first breath will inhale, lift, release any kind of tightness or gripping on the left side of the glutes. So I'm twisting to the right. Here is my right side. Back here is my left side. So do I have any tightness there? If I do, release that tightness, and from that release, twist a little bit more from the base of the spine as I exhale. So take a few breaths here and check what's going on the left side of your pelvis or of your glutes. Are you tightening the glutes, or are you able to release some of that tightness? And then is the twist coming from the bottom of the spine or the pelvic floor? All right, so once we have that, we'll take another breath here. Inhale, lift the spine, exhale, release into the stretch, into the twist. The second thing we'll notice is there is a tendency for the ribs here to poke to the right. So if I'm twisting to the right, my ribs sometimes will start leaning to the right. So then it's not an axial twist anymore, it's kind of like a lateral twist. So here, almost bring the whole rib cage to the left just to compensate for that, so that I am not, poking the right ribs to the right as I twist. So the twist is more of an axial twist around the spine versus a lateral movement here. So I notice that. So two things that I do. First, I inhale, I lift the spine, soften eyes, ears, throat. Then let go of the grip in the buttocks and make sure that twist is coming from the bottom from the pelvic floor. Then I notice, do I have the tendency to poke these right ribs out? So bring those right ribs back to the left and exhale and finish the twist. So take maybe another breath here where you inhale, lift the spine. Make sure that you're not poking the right ribs out, so right ribs get tucked back towards the left. And then release the grip in the buttock if you're feeling that left side of the buttock engage again. All right, so third point for the twist that we'll look at is I inhale, and as I exhale and I'm twisting more, especially if I'm really using my arms, the left shoulder here is going to have a tendency of curling forward to get to that twist. So what I do here is I make sure that the distance between my sternum and the shoulders are the same. So I'm expanding this distance and making it equal on both sides, so that I don't have one wing that comes and rolls forward, right? So I keep my twist axial versus lateral, so it's not, I'm not tilting over here. I am releasing the grip in the buttock, and I am making sure that I'm not bringing this arm out too far, that I'm keeping this from the sternum to my shoulders. I'm keeping these very wide and equidistant. So this distance and this distance are the same, and they're going out, right? I don't have one side curling in. So here we go. We lift the chest, release the buttock, fix the rib cage so it's back, and then really extend the sternum to shoulder blade on both sides so that they're wide and going back a little bit. I'm not doing a back bend here, but I'm just widening this distance between sternum and the tip of my shoulder on both sides. So inhale, widen the sternum and shoulder distance on both sides here. Release the grip, soften the belly, soften the eyes, ears, and throat. If by making these wider, you create some tension in the back, release that tension. So maybe there it starts getting a little bit more involved, so you can step back and just take a few breaths here and just release and learn this action. So it takes time. But as we add more things, it gets a little bit more involved. All right, then the last thing that we'll look at is once I twist, so I inhale, I twist, I look at the things that we're looking at. So number one, this tightening of the buttock, especially on the left side, but either side, that brings the twist up. So we want to bring that twist down towards the pelvic floor. We release the buttock and we twist from the pelvic floor. We inhale, release the eyes, the ears, and the throat. We release the belly. And we make sure that we're not bringing that rib cage, that right rib cage to the right. So we're keeping that twist in the center, not a lateral twist. Then we make sure that we're not curling the left arm forward. So we keep that distance from the sternum to the left and sternum to the right shoulders the same length and wide. And lastly, we'll make sure that we're not yanking the head all the way over to the other side. So I keep the head either on the middle here, in line with my chest. So the head isn't, running ahead of the chest here. And if I want to make it start taking this twist to a little bit more advanced level, is once I don't have that grip and I don't have the rib cage point poking out, I'm not curling the shoulder, I lift the head and I look over to my left side. So I'm twisting to the right, so I'll look over to the left, and when I do that, I lift the ear a little bit much more. So my right ear here will be higher than my left ear. So it's almost like bringing that ear up. So what I do is I lift the chest here, twisting, and I bring the ear up and I turn to the left. And when I bring this ear up, I create a connection from the sternum to the ear, and I lift the sternum by lifting the ear. So this is a sensation that's developed over time, so practice it. Don't twist the head too much if the head doesn't go yet. Slowly turn the head to the left, lift that ear, and lift the sternum, softening the belly, the eyes, and the ears. And then come back to center, release the hands, come to the center, and then take a few breaths here before going to the left. And really release the eyes, the ears, and the throat here. You can remove the block. Take as long as you need breathing here before you turn around and start the twist on the left. Now that you're ready to do the left side, if you remember the main points that we covered, softening the eyes, the ears, the throat, noticing first the gripping that we have here in the glutes. At first you won't notice it, and as you stay there, you're like, okay, here is that muscle starting to grip in the glutes. Bringing that twist down to the bottom of the spine, twisting from the pelvic floor, from that area. Really noticing if there's this lateral movement in the rib cage and correcting that, so that takes time too. And then making sure that the shoulders are equidistant here from the sternum, so I have these two lengths staying nice and wide and active, lifting the chest, releasing more, and then finally turning the head to the opposite side and lifting the ear. So if we can remember those points, those very important points, I hope that you find, even if it's 10 quiet moments where you can sit by yourself and work on this twist, so at least 5 minutes on each side, or however much time you're comfortable with doing it, but the time where you can truly have to go in and start feeling the sensations of the twist, releasing any tension in the brain, in the eyes, ears, and throat, and make this a practice that's truly restorative to you and start really being beneficial for the body. So let me know if there's any questions. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.